We're waiting on wars with Yemen and Spain, and in the meantime, I decided that I'm going to move my merchants around. So I just recalled everybody. First of all, I do have a significant portion of the trade that is in the Caribbean, so I do want to transfer trade to Sevilla from there. We want to make sure that we are pulling as much as we can from there to Sevilla. Brazil pulls 22% towards. Okay, that goes to the Caribbean. That goes to us. Or that, yeah, that goes to Brazil. Brazil also pulls Rio de Plata and Patagonia up towards them, as well as some of Coiba. So that all flows into Brazil. And then one of the richest nodes in the world, aside from Sevilla itself, will be the Ivory Coast. That's just what I'm going to start with. Also continuing to convert stuff. We've recently integrated CAFA, so our Diplo rep is kind of down, and we have stuff that they converted that we can't convert for a while. So that's going to the Ivory Coast. I mean, that would leave Brazil anyway. I don't really need the merchant here, because it does get multiplied, though, I think. And the Ivory Coast, of course, we want that to pull to Sevilla. Next, we want Timbuktu. Who else has trade power here? Or Spain, okay. So we do want a merchant in Timbuktu to steer towards the Ivory Coast, because we already have a merchant here that's going to get multiplied. From Katsina, I want one steering to Ethiopia. Ethiopia, I want steering. I'm surprised the Mamluks don't steer from here, but they might try to, and after Yemen disappears, I will need a merchant here to do this. And then in the Gulf of Aden, of course. We lost a general. I think that was the weakest one we had. And I forgot about the islands that have rebels on them. So we'll go take care of the rebels at the same time as moving merchants around. Alright. Now, Spain moves trade towards Zanzibar. I would actually prefer it go to the Gulf of Aden. So we're going to do that. I'm also going to move Coromandels to the Gulf of Aden. Won the Battle of Tuvalu. Preoccupied Tuvalu. And these guys guys now need to go to Tonga. Wow, Great Britain has a lot of Vijayanagar now. So we're going to pull that towards the Gulf of Aden, and that toward the Gulf of Aden. Because, so right now, just by switching those both to the Gulf of Aden, we are making 557.05. And it goes up by 2. We now have the East Indian route. So that might have been what that was from. I don't know. I also want... Maybe I didn't need to move my merchants around after all. So, because I do want another one here and there. I guess I really don't need one in Brazil, do I? So, currently moving 54.8 to the Ivory Coast. Okay, so loss of 4, but I think we're going to be able to use that merchant to greater effect elsewhere. So that flows into the Ethiopia. Ethiopia flows into decline of the spice trade. We want that to flow into the Gulf of Aden. We want that to flow into the Gulf of Aden. That flows into Coromandel. We do want this to flow into... Oh, it doesn't flow into Zanzibar. It flows into Cape of Good Hope. Okay. Still fine. Malacca. Most of the money that's leaving the Philippines still goes the way we want it. As well as... And the Moluccas has only one exit, so that's fine. That gives us 4 merchants to play with. 4 more merchants to play with that we haven't used. So, every node it passes through that has a merchant, every node that money passes through with a merchant gets multiplied by some, I can't remember what number it is exactly, but there's a ton of trade here in Zanzibar. So leaving that node, there's 163.42. Wait 30 days, we'll see how much it goes up by. $163.43, so merchant just arrived. Should go up by several ducats if I'm not mistaken. Was that went from 163 point however much to 178, right? I might be wrong, but still, I'd say that's pretty big. So, Florida's already moving trade this way. I don't want them to not move trade that way, so we are going to go ahead and double up on a merchant. Merchant multipliers, I think, are... You only benefit from like 4 or 5 merchants being in a node before you don't get any benefit from extra merchants. And the Pope died again, so we have to reinvest. So right now it's 294.7 that's leaving. End of this month. It went up by about 11 just from putting our merchant there. So let's... Trade flows into Sevilla, where we collect. The Caribbean flows into it, the Ivory Coast flows into it. Brazil flows into the Ivory Coast. It can't be steered away, it can't be steered in any other direction from Brazil to except to the Ivory Coast. So, Castilian West Indies are actually steering trade the wrong direction in Congo, which sucks. So I'm going to have these guys steer trade from the Congo. I'm going to have this merchant steer trade from the Congo to Zambezi. Which, just looking at our trade, 714.91 goes up by another 4. Because it is going to get multiplied from every node that has a merchant that passes. Every node it passes through that has a merchant. Which means our best bet might be to send a merchant to Zambezi. Possibly. So that it gets multiplied again. But I don't know if there are any other places we want to steer trade from. Just looking around. I mean, I could steer from Japan to Hangzhou, but I don't think that would be beneficial. Oh no, never mind. Any trade power we have here is already moving towards Hangzhou because it's only got one exit. Hangzhou has 2 ways out, so we need the merchant there. Canton has 3. The Philippines is not that valuable, honestly, compared to others. And also, there are a ton of merchants already steering trade from there. So yeah, I think Zambezi is where we will send the last merchant. I could send one to the Great Lakes to push all that trade through the Congo. Would that be better? No, I think it would be better to have the multiplier on... It would definitely be better to have the multiplier on 24.19 gold than 9.3. So again, we'll wait for that guy to arrive. Is 0, okay. Wait for that merchant to arrive in 15 days. Currently, we're making 715.04 gold from trade. Currently, we're moving... So 715 and 456. Shiwa. End of this month. So it's 715 and 456. Now everything will get multiplied. 715 goes to 717, and 456 went to 458, just by putting merchants places in different places. So we're making 700 ducats from trade right now, which is crazy. It was crazy a long time ago. We need to get a trade efficiency merchant, or a trade efficiency advisor. Oh, look at that. We aren't integrating subjects anymore, so we'll do that. We have French separatists, and also Portuguese particular still. Where is the army? Okay. Okay. Weird. There we go. The indicators weren't showing up. Time to build more stock exchanges, and we can build a lot of them. Even though, again, we don't need to. Just added insurance to not have anything that we need to deal with trade-wise. Oh, good. Truce with Yemen is over. The Ottomans won't come in, but neither will Austria come in to help us. Do we have any other troops that we can use? So I'm not going to declare the war against Yemen at the same time as a war against Spain, because that would be a bad idea. Really, did the truce end before it was supposed to? I thought it was supposed to end this year sometime. Alright, that's fine. Yemen's total war score cost 49%. Sounds good. Imperialism, take the capital. Wait a minute. We've reoccupied Tonga. I'm going to keep these ships here for now because the society... I don't need to do that. Where are the society islands again? Right here? We're just going to go over there and sit. And wait for a French separatist uprising. Imperialism, take capital of Dom. Should probably go for the better fort actually, but I'm not going to. Yemen has 8 ships total. I'm going to guess that these guys are going to try to come and take something in my land. They're going to Merib. We're going to try to catch them. Oh, nope, they're going up to Saddah. And we'll take the last influence idea. Current force limits. 890 land and 758 naval. And I didn't do what I meant to, which was send these guys inland. By the way, Mamluks need to be sieging. And these guys can be defensive. And I would like the Mamluks to please, please, for the love of God, go occupy this stuff. And we lost another general. He's a crappy one. Go fight in the mountains. Truce with Spain has expired. Current French separatists are at 9.7 monthly. I wouldn't mind actually taking the Master of Mint, even though our inflation's already way down. Growth of regimental towns. Gain 1 base tax in Vanad, and development cost increases, or development cost decreases. Manpower, extra manpower from them. Alright, Mamluks. Do what you need to do. Halab belongs to Gulf of Aden. So yeah, I think everything that Yemen has, I'm taking for myself. We'll take yearly legitimacy, I think. Our heir only has an average claim. Austria, I don't need to know what you're doing. Yemen, just give me all your land. Why prolong your suffering? Nope, they'll just give it to me. And all of their money, and revoke all of their cores. Never mind on the money, just forget all of your cores. Never mind, I want your money. %, 100. There we go. We demand their full annexation, right? And that means they have his entire army, grand infantry and cavalry cost reduction. Cool. And where is our flagships? Alright. Yemen is ours. Which means there's only one enemy left. Wait, Sada. Why can't I core that? No, I can't. Apparently it's still registering as being occupied or besieged. So current trade map mode. Alright. The Mamluks do have the majority trade in Alexandria, and it's not exactly a poor node anymore. And they don't have debt. If I could maybe... Oh, Greece got free. They're at war with Serbia, of course. So Spain. Great relations, has military access, have a royal marriage. Brittany looks like they want to come in. Oh, Papal States allied with Spain too. This might actually go very poorly for us. It could. We have a ton of manpower. Oh, British Peru is apparently occupying Spain right now. Who else is Spain allied with that I'm not? Nobody. Declining power of the nobility. What's this war looking like? The Spanish army is going to retake that, I think. And when they do, I need one of these armies to come down here. And I think it's time I take my armies off of drilling. With any luck, this war will be very similar to our war with France, in that we won't fight France more than a couple times. At least that's my hope. Alright, just 3 provinces. That's all we need. And then we have Africa. All of Africa. But I am going to end this episode here. War with Spain in the next one.